gentlemen, this is Mr. Clarkson, the founder Concerned Citizens of Uganda. Yes,
What?
Concerned Citizens of Uganda. Wa is a traditional word in Lango region, which means together.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday, but one we had a meeting as a family here about success. What it takes someone to be successful, and we are lucky that we are working with one of the let me say one of the successful persons. And I would have shared this we discussed in the meeting to my fellow people, but I would like these people to listen to them from the horse's mouth as
From the
you
horse.
as you communicated to us. So, Mr. Andreas, I would like to you to highlight to us or tell every youth, every person in Uganda, because when you measure the level of development in Africa compared to the Eastern world, the European world, it is completely different. What is lacking in Africa to be at least on somehow the same standards as you are? Is it because we are disorderly? I would like you to share your experience with us so that maybe the African people, you never know, we could just somehow we see on how we can go on.
Well, we have seen that some people can adjust
Mm,
if they want.
yes, that's a very good
I
point.
think the first point is that you have to want it, right?
You have to want it to adjust.
Yes, that's
Mm,
number. You have to be willing to
mm,
change your habits, your behavior.
mm,
That's number one. Then you have to define what is success for you.
yes,
That's
yes,
also very important because each of us, if you ask people, I think most people would say money.
yes,
But I
yes.
think that's a big mistake because you can also lose money very easily and you can spend it in stupid ways.
That's a very good point. That success is not in monetary terms. Success means that it's getting interesting. So if success is not all about money, then what is success?
Well, how you behave with your fellow people,
Wow, that's interesting.
your education in life,
Mm,
that you overcome all the mistakes you made
mm,
because life can be very stressful, as we all know.
yeah, yeah,
That
that's
you
very
don't
true.
get annoyed, you don't get pissed off too long. You can get pissed off for some time, but don't make it too long because it will make you sick.
Mm,
If you keep the anger for too many hours or days, it will make you definitely sick. So,
very true.
whenever you have anger, try to solve that anger within you within a few minutes.
Mm,
Then, success, family life, how to conduct with your wife, with your children,
mm,
with your environment.
mm,
Then, you have to set a goal. But the goal for me is not a financial goal. The
mm.
goal is just how do you approach life in general. That would be the first.
How you approach life in general?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. Let me make you an example.
Mm,
I bought some bicycles.
mm,
The guy who sold me the bicycles, they were expensive bicycles. I've
mm,
been waiting now for 1 week
mm,
until he sends a serviceman. And every day he promises me he's going to send me the serviceman.
mm.
That's not the way you behave.
That's not the
If
way.
no, your customer will not be happy.
Very true. Very
He will
true.
not be happy, and he will also, if there is an alternative, he will run away from your business.
Mm,
So if you make a promise,
mm.
try to keep the promise. If you don't know how to do things, ask people how to do things, or ask people who know how to do things,
To
how it's
teach
supposed
you
to
how
be
to be
done.
done. Yeah, yeah.
Did you get that? If you
That's a
don't
very
know
good
how
point.
to do it,
Mm,
ask people who know how to do it. Don't pretend you know everything. Don't pretend you know how to do it if you don't really know how to do it. That's a
that's.
big issue here. A
Mm,
very big issue.
mm.
And behave just in a very honest way.
Yeah, be
Don't
honest.
steal which doesn't belong to you. Even don't touch things which don't belong to you.
Mm.
Ask for permission.
That's very important. That's very
Yeah, but
important.
people don't follow these simple principles
Yeah,
here.
yeah. The most important point there that there are some things which we call to be minor, but they are actually very principles of life. if you just say that don't teach, don't touch, even touch something that does not belong to you, someone saying us might take it to be very light, but in reality, it is a very, very, very heavy point as far as the success is concerned. So another thing I would like you to highlight as for your experience, you have been here in Uganda. What do you think is still capturing the minds of the Africans? And let me not specifically putting myself from Uganda, Africa in general. What is hindering the African that it will take us centuries to advance and develop?
Well,
I start for
first of all, you don't need the same things like in Europe. That's as you can see here. Construction is very simple. We don't need windows. We don't need windows.
yeah, yeah.
We live like this all year round. It's a fact. We don't need a heating system. So we need fewer things than in colder countries. That's point number one. Next, what we need is good roads. That's just a must. If you have a car, a bicycle, a motorcycle, you need, even for people walking, you need good roads. Otherwise, you just drown in the dust. Very annoying.
Very true.
So, what is the why don't you have good roads? Because the things are spent in the wrong way. Your goals are not where they are supposed to be. You might have the goals, but on the way to the goals, you might be distracted by other things,
Yes.
and then you lose your goal. Let's have a look at the bridge. I'll make you a very very concrete, very practical example. That bridge caused a lot of flooding for us,
It's true.
and luckily I went there when there was a heavy downpour, and I saw that they made only one small pipe.
So the work was lousy enough.
It was just not well thought through. It was one pipe which acted in the end when there was heavy rain. It acted like a dam, which caused a lot of back
Yes.
disturbance for other people and us. So we constructed another bridge. Then that bridge collapsed about a year ago, and it takes them almost a year to make a new bridge,
That's very
even though it was quite life threatening in the end. Yeah.
Very, very true.
So that's an attitude which is, let's say, in a modern world, it's unacceptable. It's really unacceptable, because if somebody died, who would have taken the responsibility? The local council? Most likely not. So things like this have to be really well thought through. Then you have to maintain things. This is also not understood here. When you go to Entebbe, there's a major road coming from the beach up to the Victoria Mall. That road is in constant miserable condition. Then you go from Munyonyo to town, the old Munyonyo road, all tarmac has disappeared. All has disappeared. It's very, very lousy. It's annoying for the people living next to the road because of the dust. So it is not easy, because the money is here. We know that
It is there.
the money is here. It just goes, it was embezzled or stolen or misdirected.
Yes.
So the money is here. It's just about education.
So if we have agreed and we know that the money is there, don't you think this has something connected with the moral principles and the mindset of the people? How can we fight that? How can we teach people that their mindset is focused on actually not based on the personal interests, but should be to the interest of the majority? How would you approach that kind of a statement?
Well, you said it well, but according to what I've seen the last 11 years, the chances are very low.
The chances are very low.
I'm very sorry for that statement, but the chances of changes in a mass population are very low. But we should also, you're blaming Africans. Yesterday I watched a documentary about Congo, but deep into the Congolese jungle, these huge jungle areas, they had absolutely nothing. They were gathering tiny fish and shrimps in the jungle. They were chasing down snakes. They couldn't even catch one single monkey to feed them. They caught one crocodile, a small one like this, and they had, what else did they eat? That was it. And the whole group of that village tribe went out for that hunt, but that's all they gathered.
The whole day.
No, not one day.
Ah,
In 3 days.
oh, that was horrible.
So the problem is for you that your background is so completely different than my background
It is very true.
that you can hardly understand. Honestly, even I cannot understand why they live like this, and some people don't even want to change. It's fine. As long as you, let's say, as long as that tribe does not want to impose his very, very primitive structures onto me, I'm fine. If they want to live like this, I don't mind at all. But I'm also not going to impose my system onto them. The problem shows when we intermingle my system with your system, and you're constantly sabotaging my system by destroying my things, stealing my things, not repairing them properly, so that they get completely spoiled.
Yes,
That is
yes.
the problem. So when we have a mutual understanding, you are understanding me now because you have been with me for many years.
Yes, yes.
But some people who come here and have no clue,
They will completely mess up.
they will complete, and it's not even their mistake because their background is they have nothing. You should watch that documentary. They have nothing at all. Not even regular food. Sometimes they starve for 3-4 days
Very true.
because they could not catch anything. So they were eating green mamba. Who wants to eat green mamba, please? For me, no, thank you. But that's what they had, and the crocodile, very lousy. So we have to start from the basic. That's why we are doing these meetings. People, first of all, they need to understand.
They need to understand.
Then they have to be willing to change.
That's a very important point.
That's a very important point. If they are not willing to change, they can leave and they can live somewhere else, no problem. Nobody can be forced to change, no, no way. Then they have to start loving things, and that's also a big thing here. You everything you have here, you should understand that everything you have from other people. Understand that properly.
Actually, most of the big things.
Not most. Look at it properly.
Almost everything.
Look at it. Even knives. I've not seen a knife factory here. Forks, knives, fabrics, shoes, everything.
It is coming out from outside the country.
So appreciate
what we are given.
what well, you pay for it.
But again, it should be. I may take it very broad because if you don't have the capacity to make this shirt, even how much you have bought it, it should be a responsibility to appreciate by
Definitely.
looking after it very well
Definitely.
and maintaining it the way it should be. Because someone took his time, someone invented the machine to make it.
Yes.
So we should really. You should appreciate for what you're given.
I think you should appreciate, and you should also try to learn how to beautify things for the common good. Let's say what these people in that area, in that jungle, they had a jungle environment, but they were not changing their environment to make it more human friendly. You understand? Do you understand?
I get your point.
They just live how it is. Let's say I come here, we have a jungle here. It is, let's say, 50-50. Humans can live, but there's constant danger of
Yes.
snakes, other stuff.
And other reptiles.
So you could, if you had a broader vision, you could try to change the jungle into a more human free, because you live there.
Yes, please.
So into a bit more human friendly. And they don't see the necessity to do that.
According to what you're watching, they did not see the necessity of.
No.
They were just living.
Yep, that's also fine for me. I don't mind if they are happy like this. For me, for totally okay. But let's say Kampala, which is a very public area with millions of people. At least the government they tried, but I think they somehow they failed. They should. No, not really. Not really something that people would come to want to see. Like when you go to Rome, now what the president did, and not paying the art teachers as much as the other teachers.
Yes.
According to me, that's a huge mistake, because
Relying on science teachers than the arts teachers. You say it is a very huge mistake to you. So
not to me. Look at Europe. Millions of tourists. Why do you think they go there?
Of course, of the artistic things there.
Unbelievable. Everything is art. And people have to understand technology is in the background, eventually powering the stuff to look at the art. But the real attraction is art,
Yes,
purely art. Go to Rome,
very
go
true.
to Paris,